Welcome to session 2. Congratulations. Most people don't make it out of session 1. You are special. You're on a good journey. You're on a journey of self awareness and emotional clarity. That's our topic with journaling today. Because if you can go on this journey and discover the wonderful clarity that comes from it, your life will never be the same. Okay, what we're going to cover is we're going to use the journaling to understand your emotional patterns and triggers. Your emotional patterns and triggers. And our topics are going to be the role of journaling in emotional processing and reducing overwhelm. We are all overwhelmed with information. So journaling is going to help with that feeling. Identifying emotional triggers and patterns through effective, reflective writing. And then last, we're going to explore the connection between thoughts, feelings, and actions. We have an exercise for you, and it's a good one. It's a really good one because our ability to activate that journal muscle will help you to discover the clarity, and the way that you approach your life will never be the same. So let's get going. Let's talk about the role of journaling in emotional processing and reducing overwhelm. What it has done for me, and I can only speak for myself, is when I started 3 years ago journaling, I never realized the path I was going to be on because emotionally I had been a wreck for most of my life. Now, let me clarify. Dyslexia and ADD is a very active brain. Like ADD is an active brain, but when you throw dyslexia in there, it just makes it more active in a different way. So I was battling the thoughts and never realized that right in front of my nose was journaling. Because when I did journal, it was when I was in a dark place. It was when I was desperate, when I was grabbing for straws. That's not the time to make transformational change in your life. You can start any time, but when you're in the middle of a storm, we don't always look at what's going to be the outcome at the end of the storm. We're just trying to get through it. And that's with you. I want you to think, just get through whatever you're going through. And journaling can help you speed that process because your emotion, if it's true, and I think it is, we have between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts in this mind. How the heck are you going to keep them clear? How the heck are you going to actually have them work with you, not against you? Because we tend to replay our negative patterns of our past. And journaling helps to activate the future. We can't do anything about the past. It's done. Yesterday is done. You only have today. And when you start emotional triggers, and that's what we're focusing on, is how can we get clarity through emotional triggers? Start. Don't think of, yes, the outcome's going to be wonderful, but starting is your most important thing to do. And opening up a notebook, anything, start writing. Because our homework is going to be 10 minutes of free writing. Because I often hear, I don't have the time. I don't know what to write about. Well, here's the time element. When you have clarity, you have so much time, you'll fool yourself. You will surprise yourself. Because when you get clarity in your life, and clarity is the number 2 step in the 12-week transformation that we put our people through. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Every single morning, my habit is I wake up I drink, I think, I journal, I plan, and I implement. The journaling part of it gives me clarity, triggers an emotion that I will never forget because the years that I was at Overture, 65 and older, didn't think I'd be touching senior living at such a young age. Now, I'm not young's just a mindset. I'm 67, but the average age was 80 there. And I saw the outcome of really not having clarity in a person's life because how you treat yourself is important. You are the magic and anything's possible. But if you neglect yourself because are not clear about where you want to take your health, the consequences are fatal because you're going to wake up one day and be so out of shape that the one goal you're going to have is to get back healthy. And the road back is a lot harder when you're making small strides each day. So you're journaling about your health. You're journaling about what you learned. You're journaling about the previous day, what you are looking forward to the future. It's always reflective and future. And your thoughts get triggered in. You have a thought. Well, you gotta, what's the word? You gotta play it out. No, it's not that. It's, you gotta, I'm gonna think of it in just a second. You've gotta, John, what is that? You have to work it out. And that's not even the word, but hopefully you know what I'm saying. You got to flush it. That's it. You got to flush out that idea. You got to flush out that thought. 12,000, 12,000. Think of it. 12,000. If that's the minimum, how are you going to have all those thoughts and be clear on them? You won't be. But by writing, by journaling, you're flushing out those thoughts. You're getting them on paper. Like we talked in session 7, there's something magical about taking a pen to a piece of paper and connecting the brain to the paper through the pen. It's magical. Now, we recommend Growth Day because in there are prompts. In there are ways to really fuel your journaling, improve your clarity. It's all about the clarity you have. And if you can use journaling to emotionally activate that clarity in your life, beautiful things happen because our habits are our outcome. And getting clarity gets connected to your journaling habit. So when we're talking about emotional triggers is activating in my mind the power of it. That clarity that comes from when we start journaling and we get clearer, we get clearer, we get clearer, and we get better, and we get better at that clarity. We get better, and that fuels more journaling. Now, I just take my journal at night and now just write. What thoughts do I need to flush out? What lessons can I flush out? What reflective nature of things that happen can I flush out? Do I read them? Sometimes, but that's not the main objective. It's flushing out these thoughts, putting them on paper, writing them out. Now, in Growth Day, I voice to text, but I use the prompts. What are you most excited about today? Imagine the emotional trigger that comes from that question. I ask it all the time. I just geek out on it. And it's amazing the answers I get. I can tell at that moment if a person journals or not. Why? Because I know they're not flushing the thoughts out. They're not getting them out on paper. They're so busy being busy, and we get so busy replaying our past, we get cloudy on our future. And if you're cloudy on your future, you're leaving opportunity on the table. We only have one life to live. I saw how precious this was 3 years ago when it was almost my last day on earth, but it wasn't. I got a second chance. Really, I got more than second chances because I've had so many stare in the mirror type moments. I call them the suicidal ideation. When your mindset gets jacked up with replaying the past, it just starts building. Fear starts growing. Your courage and faith starts shrinking, and you start falling into a mindset of fear. When that happens, you're not going to be the best. You can't operate in a mindset of fear. That's why journaling is so important, to flesh out your faith, flesh out your courage muscle, flesh out your clarity. Get to a point where you got the momentum, but it starts with your first journal entry. Starts with a mindset of clarity. I want to have more clarity in my life. When I'm working, and it's session 2 in our high performance coaching, that clarity session is my favorite, because most people that I've come in contact with at this stage of my life have not worked on clarity. They haven't exercised that clarity muscle. They haven't used journaling to their advantage. So all those thoughts, 12,000 to 60,000, get replayed in the brain, in the mind. And when they get replayed from things that have failed, because we we're born, I think, and I don't quote me on this, with one fear, the fear of falling. Everything else is created. We create a fear of this, a fear of snakes, a fear of people, a fear of dying, a fear, just put the word in there. We create it in this. And if you can flush out your clarity, your future is brighter. It just opens up because you are emotionally connecting journaling with clarity. When you connect emotion with clarity and you're stuck, which a lot of us are, Mel Robbins tested or polled her community of a couple 100,000, whatever it is, and 89% said they were stuck. 89%. We call it stuck on the busy bus. Let's get on the purpose plane. Let's journal. Let's get clarity in our life. And when we do, we don't leave opportunity on the table, because you are the magic and anything is possible. Anything is possible. Robert Herbeck on The Shark said, if he could do anything over, what would he do? He said, dream bigger. Dream bigger. He's already a billionaire, I think, or very wealthy. Dream bigger? What? Dream bigger? It's pretty big. But that just tells you exercise that clarity muscle. You keep working on it. You keep journaling. You keep expanding that vision. You keep dreaming bigger. The magic is you, and anything's possible. I'm going to challenge you. Get Growth Day. 7 days. Try it. What do you have to lose but clarity? You get clarity. You try it for 7 days and you have Brendon Burchard speaking to you and you do the 5 to Thrive. Magical things will happen because you'll start journaling more. You'll start being prompted, because that's a lot the questions we ask ourselves is a lot to do with how we expand this ability to have vision. We're asking ourselves better questions. We're getting better answers. We're getting a bigger vision. And having a bigger vision for you is what we want to work on. Work on it through journaling. Get clear. You get clear about the future. You start making that fear muscle go down and down and down. Put it in a little tiny box. Put the key on it, throw the key away. Keep it in a small box and grow faith and courage. Because you grow faith and courage, you get a bigger vision. You get a bigger vision, you start creating more. You start creating more, the outcomes become bigger. And that's the magic of you, because anything is possible. So, let's go. Let's do our exercises. Let's see. Yeah, we'll write it. Our exercises of consciousness. Writing freely for 10 minutes. Writing freely for 10 minutes. Get your pen, get your book out. Just get a cheap notebook, anything, and just start writing freely for 10 minutes. Then send me a support ticket at support@peakcane.me. Tell me what has happened. Share with me, because social sharing of your success is a journey of discovery. And as we adopt more journaling, I had a person, Sandra, who shared with me at Rotary this morning. I had told her about the journaling app on the iPhone. And she was sharing with me how she's starting to use it and how excited she was to be able to capture that emotion of that day and what it's done to help her exercise that journaling muscle. It starts with the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. 10 minutes of freelance journaling. Just write. If you were like me, grew up dyslexic and ADD, I didn't like writing. I was embarrassed. I was shameful. Because when I misspell every other word, I didn't want to expose that to the world. So it kept writing, journaling in a small box. So that kept clarity in a small box. Kept my vision in a small box. When you keep your vision in a small box, it stays small. But when you unleash it, when you activate it through journaling and writing and clarity, the world is wide open for you and anything is possible. The magic is in you and anything's possible. Look, I'll see you next session. We're going to talk about journaling for decision making and problem solving. We got to flush out a problem. Journal. Decision making, the quality of our decisions can come down to our journaling habits. So we're going to talk more in our next session. Drop us a support ticket if you want something that we can address for you, because you are the magic and anything's possible. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey, because we're all on a journey to get better and better and challenge ourselves to be able to make a difference. I say be bold, make a difference, and have